Yeah, so what kind of stuff are you running into, Tamara? What kind of things have you been seeing?
Okay, well, this is something that I wanted to bring up because I thought that it was important for, us to talk about it.
Right.
I'll give you a couple of scenarios that I've run into in the last couple weeks.
Okay.
The first one is that my client was looking for a property, and he was looking for something no less than 500 square feet. So we set the search for 500 minimum, and he came across this property that he liked. And I did a little bit of digging because I wanted to find, the floor plan and the actual square footage and do our due diligence, as we should always. And I found that the property was 466 square feet. And the balcony was a little bit more than that. So the agent played it off as it was 500 minimum square feet. And we know that we're not supposed to put the square footage of the balcony, because that's a common element, in the square footage of the actual property. So that didn't sit well, with me or with my client, because, it was listed incorrectly. And another scenario was I was doing a comparative market analysis on a property in this specific building that my client is interested in. And I looked up a bunch of the units that have sold recently and compared to this one that we were trying to get the market evaluation for. And one of the properties was sold for approximately 620,000, a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And another property sold for 500,000. And mind you, these are both one bedrooms. I'm comparing one bedroom, one bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And after looking at the photos and delving a little bit deeper, I found the floor plans from the builder from when this building went up a couple of years ago. And I noticed in the pictures something odd for the one that sold for 500,000. And what I found was that the property had a sliding door, and in that room, which was called the bedroom, I couldn't see a closet. And that was my first indicator that something was a little bit off. So after, yeah, so I thought maybe, could this be a studio? Because there was no closet in the bedroom. So I went to look at the floor plans, and I found the floor plan, and it was indeed a studio. And when I looked at the remarks at the bottom, it said, custom sliding door. So it looks like they added a custom sliding door, and then they sold it as a one bedroom.
Oh.
They sold it for more money?
Yeah, I mean, a one bedroom is always going to sell for more than a studio. So the problem is that we're obviously not supposed to be changing, stuff on the floor plan on our listings on MLS. So problems like these, where, you're writing that the square footage is 500 to 599 instead of 0 to 499, makes a huge difference for people that are buying and people that are looking. Somebody can go into that place, book a showing, go in, take a look at it, and waste all that time, only to find out later, if you dig deep enough to find out, that it isn't actually 500 square feet.
I think that's like a double-edged sword. Like it's a two-step thing. Number one, we always see this, and sometimes we see listings where they say, the buyer's agent to verify all information. And I think sometimes listing agents use that as a way out of them doing what they need to be doing. But we all know that, as per our code of ethics, we need, anytime we're disposing of an asset, it's our responsibility to verify all information, not the buyers. We're the ones advertising that property. So because we're advertising and we're doing like an MLS listing, it is our responsibility to make sure that all that information is precise. I mean, when we were studying too, and they said, well, it's like me asking let's say Lily was my seller. Hey Lily, how big do you think the house is, or how big is your condo? It's 625 square feet. And that could easily be because, when the builder sold it, they sold it at 625, but that includes the balcony. And it is our responsibility to verify that information, because then you're going to run into scenarios like this where the buyer can easily get turned off because of the deceitfulness of the square footage, which is not, I mean, again, it might have been done intentional, it might have been done unintentional. We don't know. Just the fact that it wasn't verified makes it a big problem for the buyer. And then on our part, I mean, what I hear is that at least you went out above and beyond to verify that information, because a lot of buyer agents don't do that. A lot of people that are working for the buyer won't do that. So I'm glad to hear that what we usually discuss, you are actually implying, or sorry, not implying, applying. Because most people won't do that, and then they'll tell the client, oh yeah, they're asking, like, what does this one sell for, Tamara, the one that you were talking about?
So the studio sold for 500,000. It was 406 square feet, and the one bedroom was 493 square feet and sold for 620,000, just over.
Okay, so at least that way, I mean, you're verifying the information and looking into, like, what you want to do is making sure that when you're representing the buyer, that they're paying what they're supposed to be paying, like whatever they're offering is based on what its true size is. And like I said, I'm glad that you're doing that, because most people would just say, oh, this is what the listing says. It says it's between 500,000 and 600,000. Let's just offer them 575,000 because of that square footage. Meanwhile, you find out that it wasn't that big, it was smaller, and they should have paid less. Right. So that's why I'm saying it's a double-edged sword, in the fact that listing agents need to be doing their homework, but then we need to be doing our homework too as a buyer when we're representing the buyer, to ensure our buyer doesn't pay. But it sucks. You're going to run into that. It sucks, right?